Okay, I've got my large slab rolled out. All right, this is where the triangle, your needle tool, and a ruler are going to come in handy in order to help you cut this out so we have nice square pieces of clay. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and remove the large board that we had here that we set it on. It's not really necessary. If you want to cut it on there, that's perfectly fine too. Okay. What I like to do is I'll start with my triangle. I know that I've got a perfect 90-degree angle on this end here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this down like so. And I'm going to try and cut out as big of a square as possible, or big as a rectangle as I can possibly make. So I'm going to go ahead and start here, cut like that, and then cut like this. And then I'm going to extend this here as best I can, as straight as I can. Okay, so now I know that I've got two perfectly straight edges. This one here, and then my one here, all right? Let me slide that back just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I know that these two edges are perfectly square because I used my straight edge this way. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure 5 inches because the box has to be 5 inches by 5 inches, all right? So I go up to the 5-inch mark, okay? And I'm going to put that on here, and then I'm gonna measure out 5 inches and just put a little dot, press a little dot in with my needle tool. Okay, and as you can see, I've got my dots there. All right, next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line up that long end with all of those dots that I just created, the 5-inch mark. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut a long line. Notice that I always put my triangle on top of the piece that I'm trying to cut out. In other words, my rectangle that I'm going to be making here that eventually I will cut into my squares, I always put the triangle on top of that, or any straight edge for that matter, so that if my tool slips, it's going to always protect it and I don't have to worry about it breaking off, okay, or damaging or cutting into my piece that I'm trying to save there. Okay, back to this. Set that there. That lines up with the rest of it. All right, so I've got this really long rectangle here. Next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and measure out where I'm gonna cut these. All right, so 5 inches and 10 inches I can make a mark. And it looks like I'm gonna be able to get 4 out of this one, so that's good. So 5 inches and 10 inches there. Now I can go ahead and measure out the same thing on the opposite side if I want. I think it's just kind of good to have a good reference point just so when you're cutting it out, you know where to go. Theoretically, you could just mark one spot, make sure that this edge is lined up, and then you could go ahead and make your cut that way. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, and thankfully we got lucky and we were able to get a 4th one in here. And that's how you use a triangle to cut out perfect squares.